Energy, the ability to do work. That about explains nothing. Yes, energy is the ability to do work, but work is the transfer of energy. Therefore, energy is the ability to transfer energy. Or equivalently, the sky is blue because the sky is blue. Let's take a different approach. Energy is what's needed to power the electronic device you're watching this on. The light from your screen? Also energy. What we eat food for? Energy. Your room a little toasty there? You guessed it. Energy. In which case, energy is everything? Absolutely. At the same time, energy is nothing. Let me explain. In simplest terms, physics aims to understand how our world works and to predict how it will react when something happens. It's helpful to know that an apple will fall from a tree to the ground, but it's even more helpful to know how fast an apple will be if it is dropped from a really tall tree. To do this, we use lots of numbers and equations so that we can calculate how strongly things react. These equations are based upon the 7 base physical quantities: length for how far, mass for how massive, time for how long, temperature for how hot, amount for how much, luminous intensity for how bright, and electric current for the flow of electric charge. They each represent quantities in different branches of physics. The thing is that these branches affect one another. Heat can cause motion, and motion can create electricity, and electricity can create light. By how much they affect each other is the question. Something must dictate relationships between all of these branches. In fact, there should be some unifying quantity that allows us to measure how much an action affects another action in a different branch. This is energy. Energy is the currency of the universe. Once upon a time, in an unrealistic world where everyone is kind, a rich camper meets a poor bodybuilder. The camper has firewood, and the bodybuilder can't move after not being able to afford food for a couple of days. In an act of kindness, the camper decides to sell some of the firewood so that he can give some money to the bodybuilder, who uses that money to buy food so that he can lift weights again. The end. Once upon another time in a power plant, a huge fire meets cold water. The fire has a lot of energy, so it's hot, but the water doesn't, so it's cold. In a physical interaction, the fire gives thermal energy to the water, which uses that energy to become steam so that it can turn turbines again. The end. It's the same story. Both money and energy are measures of how much an entity can do something. We use money to standardize the value of goods, and we use energy to standardize how much something affects something else. When money or energy is exchanged, it shifts the balance of power. They are both quantities we use to measure and predict interactions. That being said, there are some differences. The value of goods tends to fluctuate a lot even when money is not being exchanged. The measure of energy, however, thankfully, isn't like that. As per the law of conservation of energy, energy is neither created nor destroyed, only exchanged and transformed. However, it does tend to go where we don't want it to. We humans do a pretty good job at controlling the flow of money. We try to control the flow of energy the best we can, but it still ends up getting everywhere. Light bulbs convert electrical energy to light, but a lot of that energy actually becomes heat instead. In any case, the next time you're told work equals force times distance, or work equals energy, or temperature is a measure of the average kinetic energy of the molecules, just remember that energy is just our way of measuring the interactions between different branches of physics, just as money is our way of measuring the exchange of value when trading different goods. You might have heard the saying, money makes the world go round. That's ridiculous. Energy makes the world go round. Thank you.